This is the plaintiff, understanding Allah. He says he rented a furnished room from the defendant, and when he returned to it after a brief hospital stay, his bed was missing. He had $750 hidden under his mattress, and when he went to look for it, it was gone. What the plaintiff did was illegal. He never gave her permission to go into his room. He's suing for $4,250 for his missing cash and defamation. This is the defendant, Georgia Hayes. She says the plaintiff was a few weeks behind on his rent, then went missing for a few weeks. When she went into his room, she discovered bedbugs and had the mattress removed and sprayed the room. Now he's claiming he had money under the mattress. If he had all that money, why didn't he use it to pay the rent he owed her? Why? Because he's a big liar, that's why. She's accused of stealing a guy's stash. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $3,050 for back rent and emotional distress.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff, Understanding Allah is his name, claims that his landlord stole money from under his mattress while he was in the hospital. But the defendant says he went missing and she went into his room and found bedbugs and there was no money. It's the case of lack of understanding.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay. Understanding Allah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. AKA William Crenshaw.
Yes.
You are suing Georgia Hay for $4,250, $750 of it, money that you say is missing that you feel she stole, and $3,500 for defamation of character. You are counterclaiming against him $3,050 for emotional distress and back rent. Okay, let me hear from you first.
In the month of October, I was hospitalized. I was hospitalized in the hospital. I was admitted for mild heart attack and stress. And after coming out the hospital, Mrs. Georgia Hayes knocked on my door. And
how long had you been living there?
I've been living there since February.
Okay, and you were on a week to week. You would pay rent
week
by
to
the
week. It's a rooming house.
It's a rooming house.
Yes.
Okay, and how many people are living there?
More than 8. 4 on my floor, 4 on the floor below me.
Okay, I'm sorry. Did you change your name to Understanding Allah? I just have to know. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, when did you? Do you actually legally change it?
Yes, I did.
Okay, how long ago did you do that?
40 years ago.
That many?
Yes.
40 years ago.
Yes.
What do people call you?
Understanding.
People do call you Understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So, were you behind on your rent when you went into the hospital?
I was behind 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
And when you come back, you noticed that what?
I noticed that my bed was removed from my room.
How did you notice?
Was no bed there.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant removed and put back. I'm like, oh, that was a little askew. I didn't know what you meant. So the bed was missing.
My bed was missing,
Okay.
which is placed downstairs by her door, which she lives in the basement.
Why was this bed down by your basement door, by your door?
I took it out.
Why?
And put it downstairs because when I saw Understanding 2 weeks ago, the room was in deplorable condition.
2 weeks before? What do you mean 2 weeks ago? You mean 2 weeks before he was hospitalized?
No, because I saw him. He told me that he was hospitalized.
Is he still there?
And he got his things there. So technically, the law states I can't throw him out. He has my keys.
Why are your things still there?
My things are still there because I'm bringing her to court for illegal eviction, which I filed in the courts. You understand? For illegal evictions. My room was rented to me with a bed, with a dresser, and et cetera.
Why was the bed downstairs?
Because I took it out.
Because he wasn't paying his rent?
He wasn't paying, and plus it was in deplorable condition. I was scared about bed bugs.
What do you mean you were scared about bed bugs?
When I saw the place was a mess, okay? There was all kind of ashes all over the floor. The room was a mess. I didn't rent my room like that. My house is in
Are you allowed to
spectacular
even rent the
condition.
room?
Yeah, it's all room sharing because my brother lives up there and he needed roommates. So basically, every time I called him, he said, oh, he's going to pay me the following week. This been going on for a long time. The agreement is if you cannot afford to stay there, then you can.
Okay, but why did you move
leave.
his bed? Because he wasn't paying rent?
He wasn't paying, and then I was scared about bed bugs, so I took it downstairs to spray it. Because
and then you put it right back upstairs.
No, I didn't
right?
put it back up.
Right.
Because
So
when he
you
came
really
in-
pulled it out because you didn't want him sleeping there because he wasn't paying rent. Which is the
Basically,
subject
yes.
of his, quote, illegal
Yes,
eviction.
that's-
But then when he gets out of the hospital, what happened?
He was already out of the hospital. He was not in the hospital during that time.
Did you change the locks on him, or is he still
No,
there?
he got the keys. He choose not to come in there. Every time he comes, I'm at work or I'm downstairs
Do
in
you
my
come
basement.
in and out of that place as you please?
No, I don't. The reason
Well,
why
do you have the keys?
I have the keys.
So you could. And you still have your stuff there.
But there's a
How is
purpose.
that an illegal lockout?
It's illegal lockout because according to
Because she moved your bed?
because she removed my bed illegally, which was
Okay, but
rented
then you could take your bed and put it back, and then the
No, I
problem
can't.
solved. It's not like she changed your locks or anything.
I cannot take the bed and put it back because she put it in the basement, and I'm being threatened while being in the building by her brother, who's sitting over there on the
And
side.
what did he threaten you with?
He threatened me like, I'm gonna take the key from you. You're gonna have to give me the key. He's putting his foot between my door, and I'm asking him to get from between my door. On several different occasions, I had to call the police to resolve the problem.
Why don't you just resolve the problem by getting your stuff out?
Exactly.
No, yeah, why don't you just do that? That's within your power to just get your stuff out and move on.
Exactly, but
Exactly what? Why don't you do it?
But what's happening now? I'm missing $750 that I
Tell me
had
about
between
that.
my mattress to pay my rent because on several occasions,
Except for that you hadn't paid the rent by your admission for 2 weeks. So if you
but-
had $750 under your mattress, why didn't you just pay the rent with it?
But just like she just
And if she stole $750 from underneath your mattress, you think she'd put the mattress back and just take the money and just kind of slink
just
out of
like
there.
what she frequently said that she
You have a
took-
$3,500 claim for defamation of character. Tell me
Yes.
about that.
The defamation of character is that she ran through the community and through neighbors in the building, telling them that I was a drug abuser and the character of people that I socialized with was drug abusers and things of that nature. And I told her I have no involvement with that.
You're no longer living there?
I'm no longer staying there right now until I find a situation what's going to happen in court with the illegal eviction of taking my bed out of the room. That's illegal.
Have you begun eviction proceedings?
Yeah, I started it this week. And he's been sending me to housing court. He never showed up last Friday. And then the judge dismissed it. And now I got another letter to go housing court again. So I don't know what's his game. If you want to leave.
Oh, he's got some game going. No, he's got
what's
some
his
game going,
Just
that's for
leave.
sure.
We don't want him in our house. I feel like a hostage in my own home. I
Well-
have young children. And, if this person is not paying, I have a budget. I have to pay.
Who owns the
mortgage.
house?
I do, me and my son.
Your brother doesn't own the house.
No, but he stays with me to help me out because I'm a single mother and I have young children in the house.
Yeah, come on up to the microphone.
Yes, Your Honor. My name is Andrew Johnson. I'm just here to just speak the truth, my sister, she's hardworking. She's a nurse. She do 2 jobs. And she decided to give Mr. Understanding, so-called Mr. Understanding, a chance. Well, what Mr. Understanding have done, ever since he moved into our house, right, he have made me and my sister and my family a living hell. My sister's, she go through a lot of stress due to his lifestyle. His lifestyle is not our lifestyle. If you want to live the lifestyle, live it outside. Don't live
How
it in
so?
our house. He's into some drugs, whatever activity he's doing, because he have an individual that came looking for him and kicked the door off. Kicked the front door off, and she have a police report looking for Mr. Understanding, stating that he owed money. After that, she gave him another chance, and this is how he repaid my sister. This is how you pay my sister.
The defamation of character claim is for what?
It's for her slandering me through the community just as well as he just slandered me, telling me about drug activities and things.
Somebody kicked the front door down and say you owed him money for drugs?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
He's aware of the situation. The way the situation was, there was a young lady that came by to visit me. When she came by to visit me, her boyfriend happened to come to the door and ask, was his girlfriend there? I said, yeah, here she is. She went out. I shut my door. The guy kicked the door. When he kicked the door, I pursued, following behind the guy, called the police, had him arrested, called the landlord. Me and her went down to the district attorney's office and filed a claim against him, which I also have an order of protection against him. And he's aware of the situation.
Okay. They think that you do drugs, and you are suing them for thinking that?
Of course.
Or for what? You said to the community. To who?
the other residents that live in the building. One of them approached me and told me that she really requested her to sign a paper, in regards to that information. You understand? The woman denied that because she had never seen nothing, did nothing, and she didn't see me that type of character.
You have a claim against him for $2,000 in emotional distress?
Yes.
Because what? Because it's a headache to be a landlord?
No. See what happened? Every time he does this, it put me in a really bad situation. I have young children in my house. We're scared. He has the key. We don't know who's coming in. When the door got banged off, I was lucky to be home that night because I work sometimes nights, evening, or days. And I was so fortunate to be home that night that I could have protected my children. And then when this happened, you're just nervous. You cannot be living in the same apartment. It's not even an apartment. It's a room.
So do you think it is enough for him to say, I had $750 under the mattress, therefore he wins? Is that enough?
No, I don't think so, because how can he prove that he had the $750?
It's his word. It's his word. Is that enough?
Definitely not. It's his word against theirs. So, I mean, how can you prove it?
Well, that's the question. When it's a stalemate, what happens?
Well, first of all, I'm thinking of the infestation. So there was a health risk there. So the landlord had every right.
But what about the $750?
That was just, in my opinion, it was convenient. It was a convenient $750.
Understanding all is pulling a scam.
Right.
Got your point. Going inside the courtroom.
Do you have any evidence of when the last time you paid rent is?
No, I don't, because papers was in my room and all the stuff was packed in one bag, and just couldn't find things.
I don't understand. When you pay rent, you should keep proof of it, because do you give receipts or no?
I did.
I gave receipts.
Do you give them to him?
Yeah, sometimes he say he don't want it, but I start telling him you need to keep it. But I did let him sign this paper that if he doesn't pay after a week, for him to just take his things and go. And he signed it. He said, yes, Miss Georgia, I'll do that. I will go.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you? That doesn't mean you don't have to go through eviction
This is what's happening right now.
Listen. Everybody stop. All right. I have a headache, and I've only lived with this case a few minutes. I mean, all right, first of all, let's go over your claim against her. What proof do you have that you had $750 under your mattress?
I just want on the statement that, on the oath, to the best of my ability. You understand? You
understand, though, right?
Yes, ma'am.
The problem I'm having.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. As for your claim against her for defamation of character, because they think that your lifestyle is consistent with too many goings and comings or whatever else, that's their opinion. And you haven't really made out a case for defamation. You haven't told me how it's hurt you. You haven't proven how many people they said it to. That's just not enough for me to say, hey, you owe him $3,500. Hey. All right. On their claim against you, when I ask you to prove up how much rent you've paid, you are completely unable to do so. They say you were 3 weeks behind when you went into the hospital. You said in your complaint you were 1 week, and then you say in court, well, it's 2 weeks. I don't know that you're exactly up on how many weeks behind you were. I'm going to go by what she says. You can't keep your stuff there and not pay rent. You either have to get out and go ahead and sue her for an illegal lockout and try to collect money if you want to do that. But if your stuff is still there and you're coming and going and you have access, your stuff is still there and you're coming and going, you have access. Now, how much access does he have when you took away the bed? You don't get to take away something you rented it to him with and then still charge him full rent. That's not how it works, okay? I am going to order him to pay you some rent because his things are still there and he hasn't removed them. But I'm going to take into account that you have removed his bed for one reason, and it's not bed bugs.
No, it's not only.
Yeah, I know it's not. The amount I'm going to order him to pay in rent is $400, not $1,050. I highly recommend that you get your stuff out of there, because if she wins the eviction case, you're going to have to end up paying court costs and a lot of other. It's just not worth it. Do you want to live like this? How do you can't possibly understand Allah. Well, but if you do, why would you want to torment and live like this? I know you're angry, but then get your stuff out and then take a recourse in court that you feel that you're still entitled to take. But why would you have one leg here and one leg there? You don't want to live there. You're not living there. You're just keeping your stuff there for spite. On your lawsuit against her, 0 on her lawsuit against you because your items are still there, and taking into account that she removed the bed, I'm going to order a $400 rent payment. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait.
Yeah, so the plaintiff's right here. What's your understanding of the verdict?
She made illegal action of coming into my room, taking my bed, so she should be responsible for her action.
Are you gonna get your stuff and get out of there once and for all, or what?
I'm going to get my stuff and have her back in court right away.
You're really going after her?
I'm going after her. She's not going to get my money.
What do you have against her, so?
Just the fact that she's just not following the protocol that was supposed to be followed here in America.
Okay.
Thank God to America.
All right, so step right in here next to me and tell me what you're feeling about this outcome and what you hear him saying.
He is a person who needs to get a life, get out of my house, and go get his own home. These are the things the law neglect to look at. People who are opportunists. They cannot, because the law states, oh, you cannot evict somebody after 30 days of living there. They use that to their advantage, and the law needs to be changed.
All right. Okay. Over to Harvey.
So if you move out of an apartment and you leave stuff behind, I am telling you, send the landlord an email, something that you can document saying that I may have left something behind, but I am out of this place. Then the landlord may have to remove it and charge you for the cost of removal, but at least the landlord can say you hadn't yet moved and then keep charging you rent. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.